Operation Habitat is a go. Got all kinds of stuff out here to get a whole bunch of trees in the ground. So what we're doing is we're going to rehabitat, or I should say reforest, this whole bottom corner over here. It's 13 acres down there, all the way to the bridge, and then a little bit more to the east. We're going to do 250 this year, and then keep working on it. Time to get some work done. Second day planting trees out here on our place, and I planted about 100 trees yesterday, and I'm going to work on this bedding area today. The whitetail like to bed on this high spot. It's kind of a weird rectangle. It runs back around, and there's a bunch of willow whips to the left and to the right, and a big down willow tree. And I'm surrounded by a low spot that's kind of boggy and soggy. And what we're going to do up here is we're going to plant more bedding cover. So I've got some gray dogwood, a couple aspen, some silver maple, some spruce trees, and some white cedar we're going to put in all around here. The white cedar obviously we're going to put lower down where the water table is, and everything else we're going to put higher up in here where the deer are going to be laying. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig our hole and remove as much as the crackgrass and the swamp grass out of the hole as we can, and then we're going to replace that soil with decomposing wood chips, actually, kind of a compost mix. And that'll allow the tree to grow roots and root really good this year. And then next year, hopefully it'll push more tree and not so much roots. But the goal is to get out as much of this grass out of it as possible, because this stuff will just choke a tree right out if you don't remove it. I really don't want to use Roundup around it until the tree's in the ground, probably 2 years. I don't want any kind of seepage getting down to the roots and killing the tree. So then we'll cover it with our wood chips, and then we'll put a little bit of the soil back on top to hold the wood chips in place. And then we're going to cover the tree and the hole with Milorganite. And Milorganite is great for keeping deer and beaver and rabbits and everything else away that are going to want to eat these trees. It's got a strong odor, and the deer and everything else do not like it at all. Plus, as it decomposes, it'll feed the tree nutrients, which is key to keeping them alive in this kind of grass, I guess you could say. But day 2, 100 trees to go. Well, it's about 4 o'clock. Finished all my work on the farm. Got all the trees in. I got all the snow fence wrapped around all the trees. They're needed to protect from the deer, and hopefully we can go kill the turkeys. I'm going in on some public stuff up here where we're at, and there's a managed forest cropland over here behind me, and I talked to the farmer. He's been seeing a lot of birds go up this valley, so I'm going to try working around this cornfield, head up into that managed forest crop stuff, and hopefully get a bird on the ground. Back in here on this public land. It's probably a good 3/4 mile hike up and through some hills and stuff like that, but there's a cornfield that kind of wraps around and comes with this big valley, and I'm sitting kind of in this point of the valley where the farmer told me he sees birds a lot, so I'm going to try calling up to the other side of this valley up here, up the draw, and I'm not going to work heavy though, being that it's public land. I'm just going to throw it out there maybe every 10 minutes or so. See what happens.
screwed that one up. Had a real nice gobbler hammering across the ridge from me. And there was a hen right behind me somewhere, and I was calling to her. He gobbled a couple times, and I couldn't tell which side he was on because I think it was just echoing back and forth. And I thought he was behind her, so I was watching over my right shoulder because she was coming around somewhere. And that gobbler came from across that ridge, came down and came up in here, and went right around me at 40 yards, and I spun to try to get a shot on him, and I just couldn't get a beat on him through the brush. I had him in the scope, but it was just gambling, so instead of shooting and spooking him, he didn't know what was really going on. He caught me turn my head and look at him. When I saw him move out of the corner of my eye, so just a rookie mistake, that's all. But they came back, the hen and the tom came back and went across this cornfield, and they're up on that opposite ridge, up the other side of the valley, maybe 200 yards away. I heard him fly up, so I'm gonna hoot at him, make sure he's there, and I'm gonna get all the decoys and get out of here. I hooted a couple times. He didn't gobble. So I shut the camera down, and then he gobbled. So he's over there. He's up on the high ridge. He's a little bit more off the field than I thought he was. He must have went up and went back in. There's a gobbler across the street that's going too. So I'm gonna get out of here while I still got light. I'm gonna go try to roost some on our land real quick. See if there's anything down in that swamp. Then I'm gonna go back to the motel and eat some pizza and go to bed. It's time to move. I worked that bird this morning, and he pitched on the ridge, went out in the field, and he went up the ridge behind me, so I think he knew better than to come down in that corner. There's a bunch of birds hammering across the road, so I'm gonna try to move. Try to get a little closer and see if I can pull them over here on our side, so see what happens. I got two toms gobbling over here. There's one behind me, one in front of me. Both sides of this ridge, and one behind me is pretty far away, but the one on the opposite side of the ridge might be a lot closer. It's hard to tell. There's kind of an echo in here, but when he gobbles, he sounds like he's within 200 or 300 yards, so hopefully we can get it done. See what happens. Well, it's 8:40, and he hasn't gobbled in a while, so thinking he checked out. He's not gonna come through that pasture where the cows are. I don't know. I'm gonna wait him out till about 9, and then I gotta get out of here. I gotta go check out of the motel and get some stuff done. So I got about 20 minutes left to hunt. Let's see what happens. Well, I gave him a good shot. I hunted last night after I got a bunch of work done. And I got close on the gobbler. This morning I had a ton of action. Just couldn't get one in range. I worked that big boss on that opposite ridge for a long time. And he will not come over, so I gotta get out of here, get checked out of the motel, get a little bit of work done, and head on home. 4 seasons done.